Your Excellency, sir, I wish to express my gratitude and that of the leadership of the Christian Association of Nigeria on behalf of Christians in Nigeria for your quick response to our request for audience over the fate of CRK, that is Christian Religious Knowledge, in the current 9-year basic educational curriculum. Your prompt reaction shows how much importance you attach to this matter as of urgent national attention. I recall it was a fortnight ago we made this request. Thank you, sir, for granting us audience. In our letter, we did say we'll bring to your notice our observations, our worries, and our fears, as well as our position on this vexing issue. First, observations. We observed that Christian religious studies, which over the years has been an independent, standalone subject of its own, was now listed as part of an omnibus combo subject called Religion and National Values, with others such as Islamic Religious Studies, Social Studies, Civic Education, and Security Education. So we now have one subject that subsumes 5 different former independent subjects. By this lumping together, in-depth study of the subject is lost to necessity of accommodation of other subjects. For instance, in the previous curriculum, social studies had about 26 modules. But in this new curriculum, on the altar of experience, they have reduced it to about 10 or 11. So the curriculum is being watered down. Further, we observe that the content of the curriculum and the textbooks approved by the Nigeria Education Research and Development Council, NERDC, deliberately denigrated the person and founder of the Christian faith, the Lord Jesus Christ. The Islamic Religious Studies section of the same curriculum document denied the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ, the cardinal truth of the Christian faith. This we consider as obnoxious, offensive, and provocative. If this was limited to a private religious belief, it is understandable. But making such statement in a national document for all faiths is indeed obnoxious. We also observe that the omnibus subject called Religion and National Value is compulsory in national examination such as GSS 3 and all the basic education. In a situation where there is no subject teacher for any of the 2 religious studies, the student will compulsorily do the available, not minding whether it conflicts with his or her faith. So this is one of the major challenges we have. Finally, we observe that many schools, particularly in the northern part of the country, deliberately refuse to employ Christian religious teachers, thereby denying the Christian students the right to choose Christian religious studies, and indirectly forcing them to do Islamic religious studies. This we consider an infringement on their fundamental human right. Now our fears, sir. We consider this curriculum a means of promoting one particular religion above other religions in a multi-religious nation. We're also worried that there's a deliberate act of indoctrination of Nigerian children through the curriculum. This for us is the most subtle and most dangerous way of executing a holy war. We are worried by the confusion this curriculum will create in the mind of the minors. For instance, in one of the books, for instance, at home, a Christian child is taught that the salvation of his or her soul is through the atoning death of Jesus Christ and his resurrection. Then in school, he or she is faced with the curriculum and textbook denying the death and resurrection. So that creates a very big conflict in the mind of the child that is just in his formative year. The worst is the portion in the curriculum that encourages the child to disobey the parents if they oppose his or our following Allah. When an educational program encourages rebellion in the house, what will be the implication in the society? Finally, Your Excellency, these are the positions of Nigerian Christians. Number one, these are our prayers. That the curriculum as it concerns this omnibus subject, religion and national values, should be scrapped as a subject. In its place, there should be three distinctive subjects, each standing on its own. They are: one, Christian religious studies should stand on its own, Islamic religious studies should stand on its own, and social study and civic education, they can come together as one. The Federal Ministry of Education and State Ministries of Education must be made to employ religious studies teachers so that pupils and students will have the opportunity to study any religion of their choice in all public schools in Nigeria. We know that though education is in the concurrent legislative list, states can have some degree of jurisprudence. Since all teachers in public schools are being paid with taxpayers' money, majority of which come from the federal allocation, there should be no discrimination whatsoever on which religious teacher to employ and which not to. It is also pertinent to note that the Constitution is supreme over any other local consideration. The 1999 Constitution clearly states in Section 38, Chapter 1, and Article 18 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights that every person shall be entitled to freedom of thought, freedom of conscience, and religion, including freedom to change his religion or belief, and freedom, either alone or in community with others in the public or in private, to manifest and propagate his religion or belief in worship or in private, and propagate his religion in worship, teaching, practice, and observance. In addition, in any situation where there is a conflict between the state value and the national value or federal value, even in the concurrent list, the doctrine of covering of the field supervenes, and that doctrine gives the federal authority the edge in such a dispute. The Christian faith has suffered monumental damage caused by the publication and circulation of this curriculum. We consider the curriculum libellous and demand unreserved apology from the Federal Ministry of Education and the National Education Research and Development Council. We demand immediate restatement of Christian religious studies, that's number 4, in the curriculum of the State's Ministry of Education that have delisted it from their school curriculum. I can categorically tell you, sir, that some states in the Northeast, especially in the Northeast, Borno, and several states have not employed Christian religious studies leader since the time of President Shehu Shagari. That's over 20 years ago. Kwara State, your state, sir, is also involved. In fact, Kwara State has been having a running battle. Not Kwara, Niger State. Niger State has been having a running battle with CAN for over 10 years. CAN employed three successive governors that they should employ Christian religious knowledge teachers, but they refused. Eventually, they said they didn't have money. CAN said, okay, we have the teachers, we volunteer teachers, and we're ready to pay them on behalf of the government. The government refused up to now. I have a copy of the publication of Vanguard to justify our claims. I would also like to bring to your notice, as you may well be aware, several states in the north since the 80s have stopped employing CRK teachers in their public school. Some even went to the extent of coercing and flogging Christian children who refused to do Islamic studies. A very recent example came from your very home state, sir, Kwara State. Number 5, we demand that Christian Association of Nigeria be allowed to provide Christian religious teachers in each of the states they claim they are unable to source and recruit Christian religious teachers. In fact, in Niger State, as I said, we've had the same problem. We demand, number 6, that the curriculum be redesigned to reflect true Christian values for our children. Not a humanistic, social, or moral instruction, but that which teaches them to love, to respect and reverence God, the God of their fathers, who sent his only begotten Son, Jesus Christ, to die for our sins, whose resurrection gives us a passport to heaven. We are particularly worried about some of the content of the curriculum. In fact, in one of the books that is in circulation for this curriculum, for GSS 1, under the subject social studies, one of the issues that was raised there was, how do you abstain from sex? And our little young ones are being told that part of abstinence is mutual masturbation in our curriculum. We demand that the curriculum be, I've said that. Number 7, that there should be genuine respect for our constitution, which I've already stated in 38, chapter 1. Number 8, abolition of obnoxious laws that infringe on freedom of worship, like the one recently promulgated by the Kaduna State government. We feel that that law infringes on religious freedom. Number 9, the involvement of all stakeholders in the review of the curriculum, such as CAN, Nigeria Christian Graduate Fellowship, Association of Christian Schools in Nigeria, Parent Teachers Association, private school proprietors. The NERDC should not have their whims and caprices and pick those to participate in the review. There should be a robust interaction with relevant bodies. Number 10, there should be a program of continuous education and reorientation of end users as part of the curriculum implementation. I'll prefer on this. We discovered that the implementation at state level differ as to what the state wants to do. A state like Abia State adds Christian religious knowledge and the other 3 subjects as one, that's 4. Islamic religious knowledge was not part of the exam. Oyo State followed the NERDC curriculum. They had all the 5 subjects and they said Islamic studies, CRK are optional. I mean, you have to take just one out of the 2. Kwara State, it was terrible. In Kwara State, they had 4 listing in the exam for issues that relate to Islamic religion. They have Islamic religious study, CAIS, Islamic religious studies, CSIS, Arabic language, Islamic history. 4 distinct subjects. While for Christian religious knowledge, it was completely absent. Thank you very much. Number 14. The NERDC should make available list of recommended textbooks in the curriculum to the public. We visited the NERDC last year and we met them and we asked them, can you give us an approved list of the textbooks you have? And they told us they don't have any approved list up to today. So publishers do what they like and publish what they want. Number 17, which actually worries us a lot as a united nation. We are demanding that there should be prosecution and arrest of all agents of hatred and murder of Christians in Nigeria. 2 recent examples were that of Mrs. Eunice Olawale, a member of the Redeemed Christian Church of God, who was killed in Kubwa, in Abuja here, and that of a 74-year-old Bridget Agbaime of Imo State, who was also killed in cold blood in Kano last year. It is tried to remind Your Excellencies that the villains were exonerated for no genuine reason at all. In fact, in Kano State, we were told that the Attorney General came out and said there was no case, while somebody was murdered in cold blood. Let me add that in listing all these demands, sir, we consulted widely with all Christian groups, associations, and affiliations in Nigeria and the diaspora. And all these points represent the opinions and positions of the vast majority of Nigerian Christians. We demand for the arrest, prosecution, and stoppage of kidnapping of underage Christian girls and forceful marriage of such girls in the northern part of Nigeria. Another issue we would love to draw your attention to, which I have a copy here, sir, is a draft document by the NUC, and that is very, very dangerous. And what is in that document? They are now insisting that Arabic language will be considered as a compulsory subject for students in the university that will take courses like economics, accounting, banking and finance, and actuarial science. What has Arabic language got to do with banking and finance? I mean, as a compulsory subject. This is the draft of the NUC booklet, which I have a copy here. Finally, may I assure you of the high regards of the Nigerian Christians, as we believe you will take steps to ensure that the National Assembly will take legislative steps to redress the issues raised, and if possible, call for a public hearing on these vexing issues that seem to undermine